where now I tell people when I leave the office at 4 o'clock, I can't get back online until 8. I have bath time, I have story time, it's dinner time, I have children at home. And so unless the office is burning down, it can wait. It can wait.
Thank you so much for the interview today. First and foremost, can you please just introduce a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Jessica Mcclain. I am currently the Chief Financial Officer for the Girl Scouts Council of the nation's capital. Prior to that, I spent about 11 years in public accounting as an auditor. I am a true auditor through and through, and enjoyed my time doing that. That's me. I'm very involved with the profession. I sit on the AI CPA Foundation Board. I'm a member of the Maryland Association of CPAs Foundation, the Greater Washington Society of CPAs Board, and a lot of many other things.
So besides of the best thing about being a CPA, what would you say about the worst thing?
And I thought about this question a lot, and I don't want to call it the worst thing. I would call it what I would say is very challenging, a very challenging time for me. I had spent, my entire career for the most part in public accounting as an auditor and just knew I wanted to be a partner. That was the end goal. I said a CPA is number one and being a partner is number two as far as goals. And I gave birth to my daughter almost exactly 3 years ago this week. And that's when things started to change for me. It became very difficult to balance the responsibilities of being a new mother with the demands of public accounting. And I will say the profession still has work to do in that area as far as supporting not just working mothers, but working parents, or also working caregivers. There are people who are now taking care of elderly parents and need that support system, need that flexibility to do that. Now, as we've talked before, COVID has definitely changed a lot of that. Where employees can say, no, this is what I need. I have to take a parent to physical therapy or my child to, a this appointment or that appointment. And they're able to get that flexibility that they need. It wasn't the same for me 3 years ago. And I just up and quit. I tried to come back from after having my daughter and try to run and operate in the same way as I did before. And I just burned myself out. My employer at the time, another accounting firm, they just wasn't able to work out, give me the flexibility that I needed for me to be successful. My motivations and drive had not changed after becoming a mother. I think I became even more driven because I knew everything that I did was for the benefit of my daughter, but it just was not working. And so about 6 months later, I up and quit. And that was tough, very, very tough. It took about 6 months for me to kind of find that next right move for me. Some of the benefits of it gave me a chance to reassess what I wanted out of not just my career, but life in general. I am a recovered workaholic. No, I work a lot now, but not in the same manner that I did before. Before it was just stay at the office, all kinds of hours, always traveling, just always on the phone, busy, busy, busy. Now I'm able to do it in a more integrated fashion, where now I tell people when I leave the office at 4 o'clock, I can't get back online until 8. I have bath time, I have story time, it's dinner time, I have children at home. And so unless the office is burning down, it can wait. It can wait. And so I've put up those boundaries that I didn't put up before. And I don't want to say it's the worst thing, but it was challenging for me to say, okay, now what? I wanted to be a partner, now what? So I went through interviews, I networked with people, talked with different headhunters, and about 6 months later, the opportunity at an organization called Brand USA was brought to me. Brand USA is a nonprofit association. They are the marketing destination organization for the United States. And their goal is to bring in international travelers to our country. Now, you can imagine what COVID did to the organization the last couple of years, but they are recovering and doing absolutely great. And I had the opportunity to be a controller for the organization. And we talk about public accounting and some of the benefits it can bring. My boss knew at the time I did not have nonprofit experience. I had no controller experience, but she loved my public accounting experience. She loved the fact that I had a CISA, my Certified Information Systems Auditor designation, my PMP, that I moved up the ranks within public accounting. So she understood the inquisitive mindset that I have, the mindset of being a continuous learner, because in being an auditor in our profession, you have to be. Keeping up with client demands and business changes, you have to be. And that is what she wanted more than anything else. And so those transferable skills helped me to get to Brand USA. So those 6 months in 2019 were very difficult for me. But I look at where I am now about 2.5 years later, and it was honestly the best decision I made at the time to leave public accounting and transition into nonprofit.
Wow. So I'm just curious, in those 6 months transition, I know that it was challenging to you. I know that you had to go out there and then look for jobs, and at the same time you had to take care of your family as well. Have you ever feel like I want to give up? Have you ever thought that, oh my gosh, I don't know I get lost? Have you ever reached out to someone at that time, someone who a partner or manager or someone who have a lot of experience in this career to just seek advice during that period?
Oh, absolutely. And again, it comes down to your network. I had so many individuals, some people that I sit with on some of the CPA committees that I'm a part of, individuals that are part of the Maryland Association of CPAs that I'm on the board with. I had people in my network that were rooting for me, wanting to help me, say, send me your resume. I'll talk to this person, talk to that person, go on this interview. And so I definitely had a great support system at home with my husband, but also my fellow colleagues, my fellow CPAs as well, who helped me through that transition. And I met women who experienced some of the same thing of, when I had my children in public accounting, even 20 years ago, how difficult it was, but they made it through. And these are women who are leading divisions within large firms, who are CFOs as well. And so it gave me that encouragement to know I'll get through it. It's tough to hear that in the middle, but I'll get through it. And to see where I am now, it's just, all I can tell myself is, wow, I don't think I realized I needed that time and that reset more than I thought I did. Because you can just sometimes work yourself and just work and think you're working towards a goal that you think you want. But sometimes it's either what others want or not really what you want, but you just haven't had the time to take a break and reflect and think about it. And that's what those 6 months did. And it also gave me great time to spend with my daughter. It's time that I cherish, to not have to worry about phone calls and emails and travel, and I could be present with her. And so that was another benefit of having that time off as well. And I definitely had an amazing support system to get me through that transition. And it's great. I can see them now, whether virtually or in person, and say, wow, guess where I was just 2 years ago? And it's, look at where I am now. And I'm just so incredibly thankful and grateful for their help and support.